Can you tell us how you're finding the conference and why you think it's been such a good conference?
Well, I think at the moment the conference has been quite good in the sense that there's been a lot of service providers that have attended. There's also been a lot of customers in the enterprise space that have also attended. I think that it's still early days in terms of the conference based on the fact that this is the second event that's occurred. However, I think that what we could also try is looking at necessarily actively inviting some service providers in the future, because there are still a limited number of service providers that we have seen come across. A lot of the tier 1 service providers haven't necessarily come through either. So I think that's quite important in order to have a good reflection of where we're at. And as you understand the demographics of Asia, you get a variety of service providers and where they're at with their technologies. So for example, when you look at some of the ones in Australia or New Zealand and how advanced they are in contrast to the ones, for example, in Pakistan, or the ones in Mongolia, or the ones in Myanmar. So I think it's important to get a different perspective, and I think it was very one-sided, the perspective that we've seen so far.
Do you think there might be a better place in Asia for the conference to be situated? Is there perhaps a better hub, or do you think Singapore's a good hub?
I actually live in Singapore, so I'd have to say that Singapore's probably the best place. But to be honest with you, I think that based on the geography, and I think Singapore's easy to get to, but also Singapore's quite costly. And in Asia, costs are definitely one of the biggest factors. So maybe next time we could look at other countries in ASEAN, potentially Thailand, for example, that could potentially be a lot less expensive for the service providers, the customers, and also the vendors.
Okay. Can you tell us what you think are the 3 hottest topics in the optical networking market, and how you think that's been reflected here at the conference?
Sure. I think the hottest topics that I've seen so far are, one of them being convergence. I think is extremely important. People are looking at how do I leverage convergence. They all know it's going to happen one day, so that's quite important. SDN is another thing, and I think that convergence, let's say, is within the first 1 or 2 years, but SDN is, let's say, within 5 years. So I think SDN is another hot topic. They want to make sure that they're ready for SDN. SDN does alleviate a lot of problems from our customers, a lot of hot cost spots, should I say, around the fact that what they're spending on OSS systems today. And the other area is definitely the advancements that we've made in the optical space. And when I say that, OTN is important for legacy networks, but what we've done in the optical space around ROADM technology, flex spectrum, coherent technology, 100 gig, 400 gig, etc. I think that's also very, very important, which is definitely becoming table stakes, but I think is very important across the board.
Okay.